Hey everyone, this is Ian Ferris with E&G Baseball Academy. In this video, I will take you inside one of our athlete breakdown videos. This will show you what all of our athletes receive after going through our assessment process. During our assessment, we test each player's mobility, strength, speed, biomechanics, swing or pitch metrics, and batted ball metrics. After all data is processed, we make a breakdown video to help the athlete understand their movement characteristics and focus areas. The first part of our assessment is a movement assessment, which allows us to see how a player's body moves and if there are any mobility or stability restrictions within their movements that might prevent them from being the hitter or thrower that they could be. You can see here that there are 3 failed tests in this athlete's movement assessment, and below that are the warm-up exercises that we have prescribed to him to allow to alleviate and improve some of the mobility and stability issues he has that came up in his movement assessment. The next part of our assessment is our strength portion, where we measure each athlete's strength, power, and speed. This looks different depending on what level the athlete and what age of the athlete is, but in general, we're measuring their upper body power, their core power, and their lower body power, along with their speed. From here, we move to our hitting assessment, where our first page shows the results from our biomechanics test using our motion capture system. We use this technology to see exactly how each athlete's body is moving and to measure the angles and speed of the body as it rotates through its positions. The top 2 photos on this page are kinematic sequence graphs. These show us how efficiently our hitter generates power from the ground up. On the left, you'll see our hitter's example. On the right, you'll see a pro example. These graphs measure angular or rotational speed over time. This can be seen by the red representing hips, green representing torso, blue representing arm, and black representing the bat. You'll notice a dot on each line that represents the peak of each body part. You'll notice as soon as the body part peaks, it usually quickly decelerates. In an efficient sequence, you'll see the hips peak first, the torso peak second, the arm peak third, and then eventually the bat. You will also see each segment of the body decelerate in the same order. If you look at our athlete's graph, you'll notice that the blue line representing the arms is the first thing to peak, followed quickly by the green and red lines representing the torso and hips as they peak together. This would be an arm first sequence or everything rotating together. On the bottom left, you will see all of his metrics listed that were taken during this swing. All of the speed and angles of each of his body parts is listed below. This can help give us more insight into the positions his body is getting to while he swings. On the bottom right, you will see an illustration of the energy transfer from the hips through the bat. You can see this by the skeleton turning from red to green in the order of each body part's peak speed. Looking through all of our biomechanical data, this hitter is out of sequence, meaning their arm and torso are rotating too early in the swing. Another great feature of our motion capture system is illustrating our swing plane and how connected it is to our spine plane. The spine plane is the red circle going directly around the player's shoulders and perpendicular to his spine. The swing plane is the green circle that is illustrating the exact path the bat travels during the swing. If a player has good connection, the green circle representing the swing plane and the red circle representing the spine plane will line up perfectly during rotation. This is achieved by a player hinging at their hips and lining their shoulders and spine plane up with the incoming pitch. Every pitch is in a different location, meaning that the hitter must adjust his body to align his swing plane, spine plane, and shoulders with the incoming pitch. You can see that our hitter's swing plane is cutting directly across his spine plane. This can be seen by his posture leaning backwards towards the catcher, but his bat still moving through the strike zone. On the right, you can see how a pro would attack this same pitch. By hinging at the hips, he can align his body to rotate into this pitch much more efficiently. This feature of our motion capture system is our spine angle tool. This shows us exactly the angle of the spine as it rotates through the hitting zone. You can see our player tends to lean back towards the catcher as he rotates through the zone. The green line is the line that marks the starting position of the spine. The red line shows you how the spine moves from the starting position while we rotate. Ideally, once rotation begins and the hinge is set in the hips, the spine remains stable, allowing the bat and shoulders to rotate around it. Our hitter is leaning backwards and losing his posture during the rotation. This next section in our video is our blast metrics section. This shows us every single thing the bat does during the swing. Some key metrics we look at are bat speed, rotational acceleration, attack angle, and connection. Bat speed is a measurement of the barrel of the bat during the fastest point in the swing. Rotational acceleration measures how quickly a bat goes from 0 to its fastest bat speed. Think 0 to 60 in a car. Attack angle is the vertical angle of the bat when it makes contact with the incoming pitch. If 0 would be exactly perpendicular to the ground, a positive angle would be up and a negative angle would be down towards the ground. Using these blast metrics, we can see that our hitter needs to work on bat speed, rotational acceleration, and their attack angle. The next section in our breakdown video is our Rapsodo hitting report. This shows us the batted ball data of all of our hitter swings that we've measured in our gym. This is broken down by all of the stats, including average launch angle, average and max exit velocity, and hard hit percentage. There are many data points that the Rapsodo is able to collect, but the main ones we focus on are exit velocity, both average and peak, and the launch angle of our hardest hit balls. The next section of our report shows the hot and cold zones or heat map of our hitter. This is broken down by launch angle, exit velocity, batting average, and expected weighted on base average. Each area of the strike zone is listed from blue to red depending on how well the hitter handles that area of the strike zone. Blue would be poor and red would be great. Using this information, we can tell that our hitter hits his hardest balls at good angles on pitches that are located in the lower half of the strike zone. This is likely due to the lack of being able to maintain posture and connection as he rotates through the swing. This can make it hard for him to hit pitches up in the strike zone. In the next few sections of our hitting breakdown, we will look at some swings from the player to try to help pinpoint some characteristics and flaws that we can work on. The first focus area we have listed in this breakdown is illustrating our player's load and first move towards the ball. In the video, you can see that the front leg is dominating his load and first move, meaning that his front knee and foot are pulling him towards the ball rather than his back hip slowly controlling him as he falls towards the ball. The best hitters in the world are able to control their load and first move to create a high level of adjustability to different pitch speeds and locations. It is key for a hitter to be able to control his swing and unleash it when he is ready. Lack of control of the load and first move towards the ball can lead to a high chase rate and a high swing and miss rate. The next section highlighted in this breakdown shows the hitter's posture at front foot strike and as he rotates through the swing. From here, you can see that he's losing his posture as he's leaning back towards the catcher. Notice the red line that is going right through the middle of his lower body, and that his back and his head are leaning way back away from the pitcher and away from this line. Ideally, our hitter will stay on this line from the middle of his body all the way through his spine and up through the top of his head. This would illustrate good balance and posture as he rotates through the ball. This assessment report here is an online report that we send to all of our athletes that shows every metric that we've tested, plus some key metrics measured against those of their peers. You can see the bar graphs list the metrics for each player, as well as the average and peak for their age group. Players can use this as a measuring stick to see how they stack up against players at the same level or age that they are. Now that we've assessed this hitter and we know where his strengths and weaknesses are, we can start attacking those weaknesses by designing a program that will specifically work on the areas he needs. This is a huge part of our philosophy here at E&G because each hitter and player is different. Therefore, they all need different programs and different areas of focus. You can see below that this program has sections in the warm-up, throwing, defense, hitting, strength, and speed. This can be completely customizable depending on what the player's needs are and what position that they play. Because this hitter has been training with us for a while and been executing his individual program, he has made great improvements in the abilities to hit the ball consistently and to maintain his posture. I have attached a recent video that was taken to show you the improvements he has made over the time. This video was taken a little over a year after the first one shown in the beginning of this video. You can see a big change in his load and first move to the ball, as well as maintaining his posture as he rotates. This has made huge jumps in his exit velocity and consistently hitting the balls on the barrel. I really hope you've enjoyed watching this video and learning a little bit about how our process works at E&G Baseball Academy. Using data and objective measurements, we are able to highlight specific areas for the thrower or hitter to work on to create an individual program for them to improve. Stay tuned for our next video, which we will go over our assessment process in a little bit more detail to show you what it's like for one of our athletes to get assessed in our facility.